Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Erica I am, and you are tuned into The Bachelorette Diaries. Just this past Friday, August 30th, was my birthday, and this beautiful curtain is still hanging up because I had a little soiree. I called it Lips and Sips, and it was inspired by a few of my favorite things: lipstick and wine. Yes, your girl loves a good glass of wine. And it was basically a debut party, not just for my Mary Kay business, because I am officially a Mary Kay consultant, but also it was a debut for me as a woman, for stepping into my purpose, stepping into my identity in a new way. Not just in a hey, it's my birthday kind of way, but hey, I know who I am now. I get it. I really get it. And not only do I get it, I'm ready to rock it. The topic and the title of today's video is I Can't Want That. What do I mean by I can't want that? I know it's broken grammar, it's not proper, it's not something we hear every day, but give me a little bit of slack. I got it from one of my nieces when she was about 2 years old. And when she would, if you were giving her food that she didn't want or something she couldn't chew, or if you were trying to give her something that her parents told her she couldn't have, she would say, I can't want that. And I don't know if it's because she didn't know how to say don't yet, but it was the cutest thing in the world. But the funny thing is, it makes sense. There are certain things in life that we simply cannot want. What do I mean? When we step into our identity, and I can't give you your identity. I can tell you that you are a child of God. I can tell you that Jesus died for you and that he loves you. But I don't know you personally. God knows you. He can reveal your identity to you. And once you really grasp who you were put on this earth to be, your decisions begin to follow that concept, that vision, that blueprint. Your identity is the blueprint for your entire life. And knowing what you can and cannot want is powerful. Because there are going to be some things that taste good, that feel good, that look good, that sound good. But they simply won't be good for who you are meant to be. It's not about who you used to be. Who you used to be is gone, right? If he's in Christ, he's a new creation. The old one has passed away, right? So if all things have been made new, then we have to understand I am a new creation. I'm a new person. That means I have new desires, new wants. There are now new things that I have to reject. There are now new things that I am called to understand. Not to be higher than, not to be haughty or arrogant, but simply to be true to your true identity, your honest identity. Who God put you on this planet to be has lots of lives attached to it. There are people you are going to influence. There are people you are going to encourage. There are people you are going to have the opportunity to love when you step into your true identity. And knowing what you can and cannot want is powerful. And I'm going to say that a few times in that video because I want you to get it. It's powerful. It's not just a cute cliche. It's not just necessary. It's powerful. Let me tell you why. In relationships, the Bible says, don't be unequally yoked. What that means is we got to be careful who we mix and mingle with. If your heart belongs to Buddha and mine belongs to Jesus, that's not going to work. If you're an atheist and I'm a Catholic, that's not going to work. So do not be unequally yoked. If you don't believe at all and I'm a devout Christian, that ain't going to work. We have to know what it means to be equally yoked because it's not only for those romantic relationships, it's for partnerships, it's for business opportunities. Money is not worth you selling your soul. We hear that saying, but that's the reality. It may look good, feel good, smell good, taste good. The dollar signs may be real good. But if it's going to compromise your true identity, it's not worth it. Because again, there are people attached to your true identity, not the one you put on for everybody else, not the one you paid for, not the shots you got in your cheek, not the waist trainers and the working out, not the abs, not the Instagram video, not the online version of you, but your true identity. There's some things attached to it. Because think about this, if the old you, if the dead you, if the sinful, lustful you, if the dirty you, if the you who had backward thinking, if people could be influenced by that thing, just imagine when we begin to step into the grace and the goodness of God and we begin to live from that perspective. Imagine how many people will be drawn to that. There are times that I walk into a room and people are, for whatever reason, in fact, I won't say for whatever reason, it's who I am. God has created me to be a light. I've spoken about my smile before, and it's something I believe God is teaching me because there are some days that I feel moved. Just to be honest, I know that's not a word, but there are days that I feel blah. And on those days, there are people who come to me and remind me that I'm a light and that if I don't shine, nobody shines. And it's not being arrogant, but it's true. If you have been called to be a joyful human being, if you've been called to be that strong, dependable sister, whatever you've been called to be, I understand that sometimes it gets heavy, sometimes you get weary, sometimes you feel like I want somebody to cheer me up. But God is there and He will send you exactly what you need. But please don't give into those emotions that stop you from being who you are meant to be. Because you are a light. And in a dark room, even if it's a tiny match, even if it's just a glimmer on somebody's cell phone, even those flip phones have screens that are like this big. If it lights up in a dark room, the entire room will be illuminated. Maybe not completely lit, but my point here is, if you've been called to shine, shine. If you've been called to encourage, encourage. Yes, sometimes you don't have to use your gifts on yourself, but that's okay, because that's more of being in your identity. You can practice on yourself. You can practice love on yourself. You can practice peace by having peace with yourself. Give yourself some credit. Cut yourself some slack. Be nice to yourself. Do something nice for yourself. Spend money on yourself. Spend time with yourself. Be willing to invest in your true identity because, again, that's where your power is. Every good thing, every promise is not attached to just your life. It's not attached to just your being. It's attached to your identity. Because your identity doesn't depend on what you look like or what you do for a profession. It doesn't depend on how much money you have stocked up. It doesn't depend on your marital status. Your identity is so unique and so special and so necessary that God is willing to take you through hill after valley, after dark place, after struggle, after distraught, after depression, after despair. He's willing to take you through. He's willing to watch you suffer. Think about that. Your Father who loves you is willing to watch you suffer because He understands that at the end, you'll be exactly what He intended you to be. No, you don't deserve to be let down. No, you don't deserve to be rejected or let go. But you do deserve to shine. And this thing right here is what's going to help you shine. So you have to know what you can and cannot want. Because when you can look at a thing and say, I can't want that. Yeah, he fine, but I can't want that. Yeah, it's good money, but I can't want that. Yeah, it sounds like a good time, but I can't want that. Because where I'm going, the joy and the pleasure and the beauty is greater. It's greater. And no, I don't know it because I've seen it. I know it because that's what God said. And He cannot lie. He cannot lie. Not because it's written in the Bible, but because He's the creator of heaven and earth. He's the creator of you and I. He's the creator of the device I'm recording on. He's the creator of everything. He knows everything about everything. If He says it, it has to be true. Because if He can do all of this, and everything where you are, and everything where DC is, and Florida is, if He can be everywhere at one time, He must be extremely mighty, right? If He could breathe, and then there's a sky, and then there's grass, if He can simply speak and things come into be, then He must be extremely powerful, right? So our faith is not based on simply what we see, in the sense of your prayers being answered, or your answer coming right now, your help coming right now. Sometimes our answers is simply in the fact that God is still making the sun shine. God is still allowing people to breathe clean air. God is still allowing men and women to be married and to give forth babies. You see what I'm saying? We have to be willing to look beyond what we feel and even what we think and even what we've read and what we've experienced. Because who we have been called to be, who that identity belongs to, is victorious. That person is kind and beautiful and gracious and capable of amazing things. But if you keep giving into all the things that you're not supposed to want, and I know this flesh comes with desires, there are some things that this flesh wants that we simply cannot want, but we do. Even the Apostle Paul in all his greatness wrote, the things that I know I should do, I don't do, and those things I know I shouldn't do, I keep doing. Because it's in our nature. But when you can stand up to yourself and say, baby, we can't want that. And when you can stand up to everything that's tempting you and say, you know what, I want this. You have to be able to stare your temptation in the face and tell your temptation, no, I can't want you because I want this. Because I know who I am. I know who has crowned me. I know who has named me, who has called me, who has placed me here. And so if I give in to everything that He has said will destroy me, I can't blame Him when I don't have nothing. I can't blame Him when I feel like crap. See, a lot of times we blame God and we get angry at God because we're hurt, because we're disappointed, because we've been rejected or let down. But when we place ourselves on ground that doesn't match the identity He has given us, what else could we expect? So I want to encourage you to understand who you are, because that is the beginning of knowing I can't want that. But it's also the beginning of believing, but I can and I do want that. Because the glory, no eye has seen, no ear has heard. It's impossible to understand the beauty of being you, the beauty that God sees. It's impossible for us to understand because we're man and God is not like man. It's impossible for us to understand what He has for us in the future because He's already there. We're not. But if you are willing to just be bold enough to believe, and by believe what I mean is just choose to know it. Choose to know it. Some things we know. I know my name is Erica. You don't have to tell me that. I know that. But I choose to know that I'm a child of God. So choose to know the truth and the beauty of God, even when life is telling you otherwise. Even when the breakers are crashing, right? When the storms and death and murder and theft is surrounding us. Even in the midst of that, choose to believe that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. That the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Do you know how many people are starving right now? But if you have that heart and that mind that understands, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. Yea, though I walk through the valley. Yea, though my stomach may be growling. Yea, though I may be divorced. Yea, though I may be broken. Yea, though I may be unemployed. Yea, though I may be fill in the blank. It doesn't matter. Yes, it's valid. Yes, I get it. I get it. This video is me talking to me. I'm just sharing it with you because it might help you. But knowing what I can and cannot want has saved my life over and over. And I pray to God it continues to save my life. And I fight against it sometimes. I fight hard against it sometimes. Not because I want to, but because I get tired. I get weary too. I used to make videos 2 or 3 times a week. And now it's maybe once every 2 weeks. You know, to God be the glory. But it's a lot going on. And sometimes I want to quit and I want to give up and I want to get weary. But then I understand I can't want to quit. Because queens don't quit. Because leaders don't quit. Because victors don't quit. You're watching this video because victors don't quit. You are victorious. And you're going to keep going. And you're going to prove to yourself that no weapon that has ever been formed against you has prospered. It may have left a memory, but that's just it, baby. It's a memory. There are some things that you have been empowered to let go. And starting right now, we cannot want to hold on to anything that is behind us. In the Bible, there was a woman who looked back. She just simply looked back at where she came from. She didn't go back. She looked back. And it says she became a pillar of salt. Maybe it was literal, but maybe she just became extremely bitter and angry. Maybe she literally became salty. You know how we say. We cannot afford to look back because we're not there anymore. And even if what was behind us felt like it was good, maybe it really was good. Maybe God has done some things for you in the past and you feel like lately He ain't did it, so you asking Him to do what He did before. Understand that what He did back then was for back then. But where you were going, just believe that it's great, that it's worth it, and that it's yours. Because what I can't want is for all of y'all out there not to understand who you are. Because when you understand who you are, you're going to live like it. And the more you live like it, the less evil will have control on this world. And then my job won't be so hard. Because then it'll be 15, 16, 17 of us posting videos, encouraging each other, lifting each other up. And then relationships can be purified. And homes can be made stronger. And marriage can live again. Maybe if you decide right now, I can't want to be who I used to be. And I can't want to be who I'm not. And I can't want anything that is against who God has made me to be. But what I can want is to step into the fullness of the identity God has trusted me with. Because He could have gave this to anybody else. Let's be real. He could have gave your face, your lips, your smile, your body, your mind, your words, your hands, anything you think you're good at, your hair, your singing ability. He could have gave that to anybody else, but He gave it to you. All right. I love you, and I appreciate you for sharing this time with me, for sharing this word with me, for loving on God with me. And the reason that the Bachelorette Diaries exists is because I believe that I am a beautiful, wonderful, noble, faithful wife. And someday I will meet a wonderful, amazing, spirit-filled man of God who blows my mind because he's nothing like everything that I've experienced. And he's nothing like everything I once imagined a man would be. But he's everything like who God called him to be. And I can't afford to not be who God has called me to be because I want him. I can't want these other little jokers, but I know I want him. Oh yes, I I want, hey, I don't know where you at, but I want you, okay? To God be the glory. I love you. Be encouraged. And as always, let love live.